Yes, and we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Musty Wargamers show. And we have our usual fare of guests and co-hosts. We have Dan. Hello, Dan. We got Tim, and then we got Palmer. Wait, no, that's not Palmer.
That's not good hair.
too much hair for Palmer. Yeah, that's it. And about another 1.5 feet tall, probably. But
we're all Palmer. Yep.
Oh, that's rough. Saying, you right? Trying to say Palmer's short?
Well, no, I'm saying Josh is tall.
That was quite the diplomatic way to get out of that.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was very diplomatic of you.
So, how's everybody doing tonight? And this morning, I should say.
Yeah, good.
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Let's see what we're on. Season 9, episode 6 of the show. Yep, Palmer's not with us tonight because he had family obligations that he couldn't get out of. So we brought in from the archives and from our usual chat room. We got Josh from Sword and Sake or Crown of Command.
Yeah, very happy to be here, guys. Thank you very much again for the invite. I was really surprised to see it, and I thought, yep, I'll just have to get my brother and my wife and his girlfriend out to do something else, go shopping or something, and say I'm very busy today. Sorry, I can't go with you. I have to stay here and work away and do the Musty show. So,
and the other good thing is that while you're doing the Musty show, you can actually work.
I can actually work. Yeah, that's it, mate.
So that's the good thing. Is like you probably got a lot of work projects you have to get done, don't you?
Mate, just so many. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it really is, mate. So but I'm actually doing stuff for myself today. So I'm doing my Baron's War thing because it's a musty Wargamers thing, you know. So I thought it'd be nice just to and the Swords and Sake do the Baron's War project. So I'm a little bit indulgent today. Selfishly indulgent.
A wee bit, huh?
Oh, good.
A wee bit.
All right, let's see here. Trying to find where everything's. I know we're live. Ooh, I'm getting a vibration here coming in.
I can hear it.
Sorry, that might be my microphone. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, we got a couple of people in the chat already.
Yeah, we got, let's see, we got Walkabout Games and Dino.
Nice.
Howdy ho, everybody. Welcome to the show. Okay, I think I found it. There we go. All right. There we go. Now, okay, that should be popping up. There we go. The topics of the night are up in case you want to look at them, which is if you won the lottery and what would you build or purchase with the money, gaming-wise. There's that one. And question number 2 is favorite game extras, counters, casualty markers, modifiers. Is it important to have such game extras? So when we get around to the topics and start discussing everything, there you go. They're already up. All right, so Dan, I know that you're weather-wise, you're facing the same lovely weather that I have.
Yeah.
I don't know what the temperature over there in Japan is right now, but
it's cold, mate. It's winter here. So you guys are winter as well, aren't you? What temperature is it over there? I only do degrees though, not Fahrenheit. Sorry. So
you're in Celsius, so it's about minus 14.
Oh, really? That cold?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's like summer over here then compared to you guys.
That's before it gets cold, too. Eventually it'll get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it warmed up. We were usually running around probably, we were for a while there sub-zero for us, which would have been probably about minus 20 or more for you guys easily,
Yeah.
minus 25.
Yeah.
And then we had all kinds of snow and storm. It's like they said minus 25. So yeah, that's probably what we were having similar recently.
Yeah.
And then we had a warm front roll through. I went to bed last night. We had snow on the ground, and we got up, and there's no snow on the ground.
Oh.
It got really warm and melted. Everything disappeared. And then we had 50, 60 mile an hour winds, which is probably about 75, 80 kilometers per hour.
Mm-hmm.
So is this normal weather, or is this something?
It's winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like we had blizzard. You go a county north of us, and it's like blizzard conditions.
Oh.
White out, you couldn't see anything. We're just sort of on one side of the front. So.
But for Tim, is that the same for you, mate? Where you are in the US?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it will be. Whatever they get, I get about a day later.
Ah, I see. Okay,
Up
gotcha.
to the east of Rusty.
Yeah, you're what, about 300 miles to the east?
It's about an 8-hour drive
Yeah,
from my house to yours.
yeah.
So at 60 miles an hour, about 400 miles plus,
Yeah.
something like that.
I've made the trip over towards over to Cincinnati before, and I've been to Indianapolis many times.
I remember that one time you were coming through town and we were texting, well, just as you were going past Richmond. You were coming from the east, like Pennsylvania or somewhere out east. And I remember you coming by and we were texting.
Yeah, you got to go visit family obligations.
Yep.
Here, there, everywhere. All right, so Dan, what have you been up to?
I've been painting Bretonians like crazy.
Getting ready for the big battle, huh?
Yeah, although I'm not even painting with that in mind. I'm just painting things that I like. I mean, I'm probably not. If I was smart, it sounds like it's supposed to be painting a bunch of Pegasi and crazy stuff. But I'm painting some Knights Errant. I started after I got done with Harvest. Started on just a unit of 6, and doing one at a time with their own heraldry. And I'm working on the standard bearer now, and then I'll have 6 of them done.
Nice.
Then I took a little side trip and I painted up a metal knight from the Black Tree Design, which used to be Harlequin Miniatures. And man, that is heavy. It's a solid metal, big, huge horse, and beautiful miniature. And it's ever so slightly, maybe just a little bit smaller as far as the horse than the plastic Bretonian 5th edition. But stylistically, it is perfect, and it's not noticeable really. And the knight is right in scale. Like you can put them on. You can swap horses for them even. So, I just wanted with the Knights Errant, I'm doing such a simple heraldry on. I kind of wanted to, do some freehand and get a little fancier. So I painted up one of those. I was just curious how it would look. I've had them in my stash for maybe just a little over a year. And so I just kind of wanted to see how that would work. And that worked awesome. That was really cool. And then after I finish that up, one of the next things, I'm going to be popping a blister, 5th edition.
Here.
Yeah. Rapans, de Lyonesse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's for a battle standard bearer. And this blister I actually did buy off of the rack back in the 90s. And
way back in the day.
Yeah, back when I was going to start at doing 5th edition, and family reasons and time reasons and money reasons never got to it. So anyway, that's going to be freaking exciting to pop that sucker open and actually do it. And I'm going to freehand a banner that I've got a plan for. This profile view of the lady on the Lady of the Lake, and I'm going to have her holding a chalice or a grail, whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I actually started. I did start a unit, just kind of getting a vision together of. I want to do a unit of foot knights because I've got from the '90s. There's, I believe, 5 foot knight models that GW did, which I've got all of them, including the one from, was it '97 French Games Day or '97 European Games Day or whatever that one is. That the Hermit Knight. Yeah, I think it's a recast, but I did get it for a reasonable price. So I have them all. And I was thinking, what could I add to that? Well, I've got a few of the larger sculpts of the pre-slot. Well, I guess they were actually slotted bases, but they would have been like from the 80s. And now you can get them from Foundry as just a flat base miniature. And they're the exact same models. And a couple of their bigger sculpts fit in with those. And then I had some front rank metal minis that I've had for years that I got on a sale, and they're more like 100 Years War, which is perfect armor wise and that kind of thing, but they don't have the great helms. And so I did a couple of them. I cut the heads off, and then I could put on some of the plastic heads from the 5th edition knights. They're separate anyway. All you got to do is cut that little pin off that pegs it to their back, and they look perfect. So that's going to be so cool because they'll be all individual, but yet they'll look like they're from 5th edition.
Okay.
So
kind of just blend right in.
Yeah, blend right in, and so that'll be one of the things I do after I get the standard bearer done. I want to start doing those and just do freehand heraldry on each of them, and then a couple of the 5th edition foot knights that have the head and helm that I've already used on a mounted knight. I'm going to replicate that heraldry, so I'll have him mounted and dismounted. So that I'm kind of jazzed about that. That's just going to be kind of cool. I mean, for no game reason, but just, I don't know, just fun to do. And so
did they have a foot version of the Green Knight? I know they didn't.
Not official GW. But yeah, so I'm gonna have fun with that. I guess basically this is be the 7th night that I've painted since I got done with Harvest. So in the last month, so I've feel pretty good. And it's not Golden Demon level, but I'm putting a lot of effort into each one. So
yeah.
And then I did do the Knights Errant Champion. That's the first time that I used the paint scheme that GW did. Josh is always doing that, where he's kind of going out of the army books and stuff and trying to recapture that. And so I like to do my own thing in the flavor of the 5th edition, but on that one I'm like, nope, I'm like replicating it. So that was kind of fun to do. Yeah, it's the one that I don't know if you remember, but he's just got a sword, so because the champion, and then he's yellow with basically a black cross on the front of the horse and the back of the horse, on the side profile. So I know I need to get a decent backdrop and some decent lighting that I can take some pictures to post, because I used to take them on my gaming table here, but it's all set up with World War II Stalingrad terrain, and it's going to kind of crush the mood that I'm trying to create. So,
boy.
Yeah.
Well, Time Bandits. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and when I used to take the pictures and do the videos, I had my Normandy terrain set up. And so all I had to do was make sure it was like, kind of a medieval cottage and a bunch of trees and a wall. It worked, but this does not work. So, but I got to do that because, some of them I'm pretty proud of. I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm big this thing. I'm having tons of fun. So, and then I know you and I are going to get them on the table here next month. So that's exciting too.
Yeah, that's going to be good where we can get a game in.
Definitely. All about it. So anyway, that's me having a great time.
All right. Tim.
Yes, sir.
The talking hands there. I see him.
Hands. I've been, as a lot of people know, I've just been working on my Persian, going colorblind. They do like their their colors on their uniforms and their clothing. A lot of stripes and geometric shapes, but I'm taking a break and I'm just doing some what would be hill tribes and that sort of allied troops from their empire and stuff. I've had to kit bash a couple of things, shields, extra spears and javelins and stuff, so to make a unit that looks somewhat correct. Although I mean, I had all these extra Victrix shields from my Scutari and Catrate and stuff like that, and so I use them. They have like a boss on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And historically, if we want to be really
They didn't have a shield boss.
picky about it, they really probably at that time were not having like metal bosses on their little shields and stuff. That came around a little couple hundred years later. So if somebody wants to get really picky about it, they can, but I'm going to use them because I've got them.
Yeah.
And they're the right size. It's just I didn't see the sense in ordering a bunch of shields for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you hadn't mentioned anything about it, I probably wouldn't even thought about it.
Well, most people won't. Most people won't really notice. Now, some of the more
Grognard types.
historically anal people will probably go, they didn't have those then.
Well, they came in the kit. What are you talking about?
No. These came in my.
Well, they came in a kit, not
They came. Yes, they did come
Not
in a
that kit.
not that kit. And actually, these guys are War Games Atlantic
yeah.
out of their first empires. That's a pretty good box set. That really is. I'm really pleased with all the options and stuff. One thing about War Games Atlantic, they really do some nice sprues with a lot of extras and stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I wish they would have had on there was just a flat, round shield.
Oh, okay.
They had all the shield types except that.
Oh.
And at this point in time in history, where what I'm doing is that time of Cyrus on up through Xerxes and all that, just this sort of weapon combination was around for a very long time. A small round shield, a spear, and javelins. I mean, the Romans fought against it in Spain, in Gaul, in Illyria. It's such a good combination to use for especially for less sophisticated societies. So it lasted a very long time. So I'm not too bent out of shape about it or disappointed either way. I did get one more command stand group done, but like I said, this project's kind of like I'm really not ramping up. I'm just this is just for like December, try to get a little bit ahead, and so I'm working on these War Games Atlantic miniatures. Next up will be another unit of heavy infantry, and that'll be great. I mean, I'm going to use those. Well, I ought to get them out. I mean, they're right here. Those kind of like figure 8 shaped shields that kind of
yeah
on either side.
Yeah.
More of a what the Medes and the Elamites and a lot of those people would carry. Let me see. Let me just pull one out of here.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use these shields here. Will be on the next unit. And like I said, these sprues are pretty nice. I like the miniatures, and they'll fit very nicely with my Victrix models.
Is there 4 per sprue, or
Do what?
was there 4 on each sprue? 4 models, or
You're cutting out, Rusty. I don't know what's going on here. Wait a minute.
I was just asking if you had, is there 4 models on each sprue, or is there?
No, there's more than that. I think let's see, there's 5 models on each sprue.
5.
Because all these come off of one of these sprues here. So I can get, out of this one box, I'll probably get 3 or 4 units. With some light skirmishers in there as well. So probably 2 actual combat units and then some skirmishers.
And it was what, 3 different type of shields?
Yeah. And then just for fun, something they came out with and I've always wanted to get. So I bit the bullet and bought these guys.
Oh yeah,
The Conquistadors.
yeah.
And just to put in my Empire army. And maybe my 30 Years War army, and they'll go everywhere. But just for fun, that was just for fun to get those. Yeah. And as you can see on my table, I normally like to have models on my table, like especially if I'm doing a lot of color. Mm-hmm. I like to have other miniatures on my table to take up excess that I drop into my wet palette or out of the pots or something. So I got these 3 Empire characters out, set them on the side to, especially because I'm doing units with color and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Because they need to be brightened up a little bit. I've had these, gosh, since I first started, like in the early 90s, and they're a little dull right now. So I've had to go on over the horse armor a little bit. I'm going to redo their faces, try to brighten up the plumes and the beards and that kind of stuff. Nice. And now that my painting skill has increased a little bit since then, I think I can make them look a little bit better. I had to laugh when I pulled this one out because it's still got the goblin green on the base.
Oh yeah, nice.
That is really old timey.
Authentic goblin green.
Yeah, that guy that is actually from the 5th edition campaign set, the Idol of Gork, and he's the main. He's the main character for the Empire. That guy.
Yes. God, I used to love those box sets when they would come out with those. I remember like remember when they came out with those compendium books?
Yeah.
Those were great. Those were great additions to the actual game, and they'd have like a campaign thing you could do. They actually had siege rules in one of them. God, they were so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Well, I still got them. It's very nostalgic to think about how much fun there was at that point in time to be involved in that hobby with the community and stuff. And it was, God, it was a lot of fun collecting that stuff and so excited for the next thing to come down the pike. And God, they had me hook, line, and sinker. I swear to God, they had me. I couldn't wait for the next thing. Oh, it was terrible. I was so hooked.
I know. We were playing the 3rd edition. You know, all it was just the book, the hardcover book.
Yep.
And then they came out with that box set with goblins and the high elves in it. It was like, oh my gosh, I had to go buy one just because.
Yep. I think that was my very first box set the big box set that I purchased was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had my original army that I bought was out of a bin. Because I used to go up to this gaming store that was up by Ball State, the local university. And well, it's up in Muncie. And they had a gaming store up there that a buddy took me to. And the very first army was some guy had graduated. He had dropped off all of his army and was leaving it as he moved on with life. He couldn't take it with him or didn't want to take it with him. And so I bought that entire undead army, plus the book and stuff. It was that was the very first one. I was hooked from that day. The very first time I actually sat around and watched a game, I thought, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Yeah.
Back
I didn't realize
everything was metal.
Yeah. Metal. And, matter of fact, I got one of the very first, those Empire halberdier guys that came in, they were that blue plastic.
Yeah.
And they came in a box of 30. I've still got those miniatures in my cabinet. Horribly painted with Tester's paint from back in the day. Horribly painted. I still would love to strip them down and redo them, but it's one of those things, like when I look at them, it's almost like that's part of the journey, from not knowing a single thing and never in my life being artistic at all to actually now finding joy with a paintbrush in my hand. It was a tremendous journey for me. I mean, I could care less about anything artistic, but if someone would have shown me this sort of thing back then, I might have been, I might have been like, oh, I can paint one of these. Well, that's great.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
They were too busy trying to force me to paint flowers and pottery and stuff like that I had no interest in whatsoever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If I'd have seen stuff like this, oh, yeah. Because I remember I had all the Apollo lunar landers and the spaceships and all that, the rockets, all the booster rockets and all that had great big displays like that I'd painted up. And oh yeah, it wasn't like I was not interested in it. I just wasn't interested in the formal way that they were presenting art to me. And when I see what people do with this sort of thing, I mean, I'm still a monkey with a paintbrush as far as some people, but I think I've looked at some guys' work, and it really looks like it could walk off the stand. Albeit not that AI stuff that we see all the time anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Rusty, you're the one that sent the World War II thing.
Yeah, bolt action.
Yeah,
Bolt action thing, and they're. I tell you, one of these days, that's going to be the crux of our gaming. It's going to be all AI, it's going to look like a computer game, but we'll be playing it on some flat surface that we just turn on, and all of our armies will be digital, and
just give it a few more years, and that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
All right. So,
yes.
Josh,
Yeah.
are you done with your update?
I'm done because I will babble, and for don't let me go. You better interrupt me and tell me to.
I was enjoying listening to you talk there, Tim. So,
Yeah.
Good, mate.
So
I saw on your channel too there, Tim. You're doing some solo gaming or something now, mate. You got some rules for your solo gaming.
Oh yeah. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get some more stuff ready. It's kind of an interesting concept. I just finished the first stage of that, and I'm gonna redo the video. I had one ready to go, and I was editing it, and I kept hearing this crackling sound like popcorn.
Oh.
And popcorn popping, and I kept going, what in the world is that sound? Well, I've got this new big tablet, and it's got one of those. Here, it's right here. It's got one of these wrist things, a hand, like where you put your hand in it.
Oh yeah.
That. And I didn't realize as I was walking around the table, that's what was making the popping sound.
Oh, okay.
And I kept there, what in the world is doing that? Because I was looking around in the room and I couldn't find it. and it was in my hand the entire time.
I used to have that problem with one of the my phones, because I always tape everything with my phone. And one of my phones had a what do you call it? The saver on the outside.
Yeah.
And it would always make noise if I was holding it wrong. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was kind of. I kept thinking, where in the world is that sound coming from? Because with my computer, I kept having sound issues anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Josh, you're working on your own little.
Yeah.
Is that a retinue you're working on?
Yeah, I'm just sort of wrapping up a video I'm doing for the Swords and Sake channel, painting one of those groups of archers. There's plastic Wargames Atlantic miniatures came with the box set, because I really wanted to get it finished before the end of the year, because I got it for my birthday in late April for my dear wife. I thought it'd be nice just to show her that I finished painting everything, and now that I've got someone to actually play with me who's interested to give it a go. Finally, after I don't know how many years I've been doing collecting and painting all these miniatures now, we're actually going to get to see it on the tabletop and actually roll some dice and have at it. So,
that'll be
really enthused about it now.
That's awesome.
Well, obviously, we'll get to watch it on the channel sometime here.
Yeah, at some point, mate. Yeah, because Max, my mate Max, he's a really good guy. He's from New Zealand originally. But he moved over here to Japan. Looks like he's going to be a lifer like me, basically. So we connected, I think, through Facebook a couple of years ago now. And we've sort of been meeting up every now and again. Like, he lives about 2 hours drive away from me. So, and my son really gets on with his son, even though his son is a little bit older than my son. And my wife gets on with his wife. So you got that winning combination. So whenever we meet up, they all get together. They do their own thing. The kids will go and play their video games or play Pokemon cards or whatever. And our wives will talk and do that sort of stuff. And we will just, we'll run off and into our little boys' room and play, with our toy soldiers, for a few hours. So, and that's been great because he's into really old Hammer stuff, like First Edition Space Hulk, things like the Dungeon Quest, that old type.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's got all the expansions. He's just painted up the heroes for it. I don't think he's ever played it. Ultramarines. What else has he got? Space Crusade. Not Space Crusade. Sorry, Advanced Space Crusade. He's got that. So he's got all these hidden gems in this special room that he's got all these big black storage cabinets in. I was allowed to go in. I wasn't allowed to film. I wasn't allowed to film anything, which I thought was quite funny. But he's got just tons and tons of miniatures and games, and you think about it, he's probably got it.
Does he have like the Space Hulk, the old Space Hulk game?
He's got everything, mate. Like, just to say how crazy, not crazy, but he basically, at the time when nobody wanted anything, he bought up everything, and people were giving him stuff, like just saying, I don't want this stuff, you have it, or whatever, in his games club. So basically, he's got like an open copy of Space Hulk, and then he's got a sealed in wrap Space Hulk, and you do the same with Deathwing and Gene Stealer, Man of War, you name it. He's got like a sealed copy, pristine, and he's got an open copy to play with.
Wow.
And now he's gone and painted all the Space Hulk miniatures, the Patriarchs, the Maguses, the hybrids, and all of that stuff. So he's got an incredible collection. He just hasn't had a lot of people to play with. So since he's met me and he's met our group, now it's given him the incentive to keep going and paint stuff and eventually start playing a lot of these games, which would be really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And on top of that, he's a really, really nice guy to game with. So that's even better.
Oh well, yeah.
Because he's coming from he loves 40k and plays 10th edition, but then really dislikes the wargaming, kind of gamey competitiveness, and the people that you play with.
Yeah.
They're usually a lot younger, very competitive, and yeah, he sort of got sick and tired of that, so he was looking for alternatives, and then found our wacky group of guys, and we never take anything seriously, so I think he kind of like that. So
Well, it does make it all much more enjoyable. When,
oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Joy of Wargaming on.
That's it, mate. The joy of wargaming. That's
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
I did bring a musty drink, even though it's lunchtime, and I'm very naughty. I bought a nice bottle of Heartland Kieran beer. I don't think you can get that in the States, but go and check it out. It's absolute beautiful beer. So cheers.
Good to know.
Right.
Cheers.
And it's always nice to have a nice beer.
Well, it is the the Christmas season, so it's a good excuse, if anything. And I do try to have a beer on a musty show because I don't have to pick up my son after school or anything like that. And I've just got some pretty casual, light online lessons on a Friday. So,
Oh, okay.
and they won't know the difference. Probably think that I'm, sober or a little bit tiddly. Probably the same.
Or just strange, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So, but that's it, mate. That's my
Okay.
update. Thank you.
That's your update. All right. So, for me, I was supposed to have a BattleTech game last weekend, but the state got shut down.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, right.
We had a massive snowstorm hit, and
Oh, wow. Okay.
our major interstate section that goes north and south through our state was shut down. It was a parking lot.
Right.
So they were asking me, "You coming?" No. And then not long afterwards, I started getting reports coming in. Oh, I-80 is closed. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm glad I didn't leave. I'd be stuck on the interstate.
Yeah.
That'd be awful. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. There's some places it was closed for 12, 15 hours.
Oh, really?
Able to get it open. So you've been sitting on the interstate freezing.
Mm.
So that game got canceled on my part. So I spent the weekend just painting.
Well, that's a win. So when you did your troll or your troll
Yeah.
slayers?
That's when I got the Slayers all done and nothing flat.
Yeah.
So this was my progress of the last 2 weeks.
Wow, nice.
Nice, man.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that.
If you want to see them in close, you can watch the video. But the heart, it's like I got my little Slayers.
Yeah. It's a nice
Yeah.
demon here, that one.
They got the old, and guess what color their pants are?
Have you guys blue?
Is it
Blue.
blue? Yeah.
It's always blue.
Well, it's like with their bright orange hair and everything. You got to have something contrasting.
Oh, it's a complementary color. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So then I got these little guys. I think I can't remember if these are the Harlequins or the Heartbreakers, one of the two.
Those are nice too, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
nice.
the old style.
Yeah.
They're heavy. You could throw them in a sling and kill somebody with them.
Yeah.
Be like a Space Marine Dreadnought in
Yeah.
metal.
The old metal ones. And here's
Yeah.
another. I think this is the Demons or the Dragon Slayer, maybe.
That's a Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, it's a Dragon Slayer. And
I'm a bit sad, knowing all this sort of stuff.
yeah, and this is the.
That's a Demon Slayer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that particular model. Actually, that one there. That's a great.
This one I think came in the command section.
Was he holding a like a horn blowing thing? Trumpet? Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that's. I think there was 3 of them in a blister.
Oh, right.
It's like somewhere around here. I have the horn. One's got a horn. Obviously a Slayer with a horn, and then it has the banner. Somewhere around here, I got to find them. I don't. They're probably sitting in one of my ones that are already painted, so I have to go look for them. And then I have a whole bunch of plastic. Oh, where'd he go? Well, I'm not getting him till after.
Don't roll over the top of it.
Yeah, don't roll over the top of
Yeah,
it. 'cause
went all the way to the
You
wall.
caught in your
He went to the wall back underneath the desk. So it's like I got a bunch of these guys, and it's like I like the going with the complementary color of the blue too. It's just it makes them stand.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Plus, it's classic.
Yeah, those are a lot of those are. Some of them were in the was it Island of Blood or was it that box set? Or Skull Pass.
Oh yeah, so I think Skull Pass had the dwarfs in it, didn't it?
Yeah. And then obviously I got a hey, BattleTech.
Of course. Yeah.
Greg.
You can't have a go a week without painting some BattleTech, right? So.
That's it.
You are not wrong.
And Rusty, I've got a question for you, mate. That your username Hellcorrex, is that from BattleTech?
No, it's from Lord of the Rings.
Is it really? All right.
Yes, it's the grinding ice between when the elves after they stole the ships and killed off their kinslaying, and they went chasing after Morgoth, who stole the Silmarillions.
Mm-hmm.
The Silmarils stole the three. They chased after and stole the ships, and then they had the crossing. And they went across a lot of the elves crossed over the grinding ice, the Hellcorrex.
Right.
And that's what it's named after. That's the name of my channel.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm a big
Lord of the Rings
fan.
nerd.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I would never have guessed.
Yeah. I've always, ever since, it's like when I was 12, 11 or 12 was when I started reading all the books.
Mm.
Obviously, I started with The Hobbit, and then I went and read The Lord of the Rings. And then in 77, they came out with that was a hard read, this Silmarillion.
I've never read it. I have it.
It was rough. Imagine being like 13 and trying to read something like
Yeah,
that.
I think it's hard for anybody, let alone a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, mate? What are you drinking?
Tonight, I am drinking Black Velvet 8-year-old.
Oh, Black Velvet. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's Canadian.
Ah, right. Okay.
That's
Is it
pretty good.
a Canadian club?
What's
Is it a
that?
Canadian club? Is it a Canadian club? Sorry, is it a Canadian club like whiskey
Yeah,
or
like Canadian Club.
like Canadian club? Okay.
Yeah, very similar. And I got one more thing to show off. These guys. Oh, forgot. And I have my bollards. If you ever watch the barriers that pop up out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw your video on those. It's an interesting concept. That one.
Heck, they're just stuff that was going to get thrown away, and just converted them into terrain for BattleTech.
That's pretty cool.
But I finished this today. That is Rogel Dorn from 30K.
Oh, right.
That's the Forge.
Okay, I did not know. Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, man. That's good.
Yeah,
Is it a gift, or did you do it for
Primarch
fun?
of the Imperial Fist. So,
Right. Yeah.
ever since I started, I finished the Slayers, I was like, okay. And this one didn't take me very long, because I put the video out yesterday, I think it was. And I just had started on it, so now it's complete.
I played the Horus Heresy board game. Remember those chit and counter games that Games Workshop released in the early 90s?
Yeah.
And I had Rogel Dorn. I was playing the Imperial side, and I killed him off in the second turn, I think it was.
Oh, really?
I killed him well before his prime, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. And I will be I'm going to put some base coats, all the colors. This is for my daughter. This is the Dandelion from the Witcher series.
Yeah,
The Bard.
the Bard. That's really that's a great model. You've showed that.
Yeah, so he is now officially going to be getting paint put on him.
Cool.
So he sits on this little decorative It's going to be a base, so it's got candles around it. So I'll put them on that and
That's cool.
give them to my daughter. So that's what I'm planning on working on.
Great idea.
All right, so we do have some comments real here before we get into the topic of the night. So obviously we have Chris, we got Dino. There's the topic in case you just popped in, which hard to say, was still left around. Okay, say, feels strange I'm not getting a glare in my screen tonight. Odd. I wonder why you don't have a glare. What is the reason for
What
that?
causes that glare?
Poor Palmer. Poor guy. He thought he had to defend himself.
I know.
Oh, wait, Palmer's head is not on the screen.
We kid because we care.
It's minus 25, yeah, Celsius.
Jeez.
Yeah, it could be Fahrenheit. It is Canada, but that is over there. He's north of Vancouver, I think, so it's probably a little chilly, but not bad. I would build a robot. Okay, I think somebody said build a robotic system. Sole purpose would be to motivate me to work on my pile of shame, kind of like Bruce Meredith from Rocky. You can do it.
Yeah.
Snow and cold here, and south of me, flooding in Washington State. Yeah, that's the worst thing. Is like over there in Washington State, they're getting soaked.
Yeah. That'd be horrible this time of year anyway. Just that's pretty tough.
It's been well below 0 Celsius for weeks now. A couple feet of snow in the yard in Ontario.
Mm.
Yeah, 0 Celsius, 32 degrees. Freezing.
Yep.
Typically, our winters around here, roughly, we're in the 20s, so about -5 typically Celsius is our typical average temperature.
Okay.
So then we always have a burst when we get down into sub-zero. We're talking about 20, 25, 30 Celsius, below Celsius.
There we go.
Hey, who is that?
What?
When do you come into the show? Huge games home, tiny bedroom and bathroom, and the rest of the hobby.
Yeah, good call.
There you go. Favorite gaming extras: 3-man Imperial Guard tank crew and pewter. Been procrastinating on painting them since the 90s.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the present. And we have the Joy of Wargaming said, "Hey, hello." And cheers, everyone. Merry Christmas, gentlemen. Got a jet, but we'll catch the recap later. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Citadel Enchanted Blue.
Oh, yeah.
believe that will be. If
Very
it's
nice.
asking about my blue, I use Lothran Blue. And Calidor Sky is the two blues I was using in my models. So that's all the comments that we have.
Nice.
All right, so all the way up the top, we had the first topic of the night. Since we're having the big Powerball, it's like $1.3 billion.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to go buy a new Powerball ticket tomorrow when I go to.
Oh yeah.
My wife bought one. So
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, we bought one for yesterday's drawing, and it's hey, we won $2. So that hasn't happened in forever. So,
Sorry, how many numbers do you need to select for that?
there's 6.
Is that all?
5 numbers plus the Powerball, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
in the right order, right?
yeah.
Okay, and be in the right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Right.
Yeah.
And my friend that lives down in Kansas, he had the Powerball and I think 3 numbers. I think he said it was like $1,000 he won.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so he paid for some of the Powerballs he paid for over the years.
Yeah, that's about right.
But yeah, it's one of those things where when the numbers get up to about 500 million, then you start dreaming about it, and then it starts shooting up really quick because everybody's like, "Oh, that's a lot of money. I better start playing." But most people don't realize. They think they're going to get $1.3 billion, but no, it's like
after tax.
If you take the cash amount, it's like 400 million, and then you get taxed on top of that. So you may get 200 million if you're lucky.
And that'd be just disappointing.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's only 200 million.
What are you going to buy with that kind of change?
I might be able to buy a Citadel army then.
Yeah, I could buy GW minis again.
Yeah, made to order. Here I come.
Woo! Games Workshop store.
Oh my!
Yeah, you can recreate a Games Workshop store. You can go and buy all the box sets in pristine condition and everything, and the blisters and all that, and make it.
From 1994.
Yeah. Make like a time machine out of
Oh, that game is $350 to purchase off eBay. Yeah, I'm buying it. I'm not even going to open it. Just going to put it on the shelf like some guy I know on the internet.
Yeah, like some guy from New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the question is, what would you do if you, let's say, won the lottery, and you had all the money you wanted to set yourself up with anything gaming wise? What would you do?
Ooh.
Who wants to kick this off? I know we got some dreamers here.
I think I might kick it off if that's okay, Russell, because I have to go at like around 1 o'clock, unfortunately, because I've got work commitments, obligations. So if it's okay, I might just kick it off.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I thought about this, and I thought, obviously with the money, and I've always sort of fantasized about that. If I won like $1 million, what would I do? And of course, with my wife's blessing, of course, it's just not me. She would have to approve, of course. She'll probably want all of it. But I might be able to squeeze a few dollars out of her. But obviously we'll buy a new house. I'd want to, completely design a beautiful games room with custom-made tables and custom-made cabinets to store all the miniatures in. I'd place an order with Vallejo for the entire paint range and the racks as well. Get that sent over. And a squillion brushes, but not that I'll be painting all that much. I think I'll be packing up a lot of my miniatures and sending them off to get them commission painted, as my commission days will end.
And what you're trying to say is you won't be commission painting anymore?
I won't be commission painting anymore. I know it'd be a really sad realization, but I'll have a lot more free time on my hands then. I can actually do some gaming and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll be definitely, I'll look at some painters I really admire and really like and say, look, just tell me how much you want to paint this up or whatever, and send them off, and have that really nice satisfaction that other people would get from, if they get something commission painted, getting the box, opening it up, and pulling at all the miniatures that have been painted by someone that you admire as a painter. I think that'd be pretty cool as an experience. So, and we also had, me and my wife had thought about having some kind of like not just my wife, but other people having like some kind of games day here in Japan, having some central place where we could have like a bus to pick people up from the airport, take them to a hotel, and the hotel would be close to this place where we would host like a massive hall with tables, and people could play games of any type and any variation, whatever they want to organize. So basically like Salute, or like, the old games days in the UK, in the US.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be absolutely fantastic. And actually pay for people to come over if they can't, if they've got no means of financially doing it. Giving them money to get them over here and hosting them for a weekend of gaming. I think that'd be really cool. So that's what I would do, mate, with my money. How about you?
Now this game room you have, would it be large square footage and all the fun stuff?
Oh yeah, because if you've seen my videos, my room here is tiny. It is so small. And it's getting smaller because I'm adding shelving to store stuff. So basically, I can't feasibly start another army. I just can't. I just don't have the room to put stuff anymore. So it's a case of painting whatever I have left, what I've got here. Trying not to be seduced in starting another army, and because we all get that as painters and hobbyists, we want to, like butterflies. Yeah, and the completionist thing. That's and this Christmas I've bought nothing. Usually I buy something. I go to Grey for Now Games or Footsore or whatever and buy something for myself. I didn't do it this year because I really want to finish everything I have before getting something new. So, but yeah.
Wow, that's a noble goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a rare goal for a to have to actually finish it all.
Yeah.
You should do a video on with your very last miniature. Open it and say they're all done. It would be like finding a live dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's rare. That would be.
Well, it's like with the Baron's War stuff and the Test of Honor stuff I have, it's good because it's a very isolated kind of hobby in terms of how many minis I've got, how many armies I've got. And that's been nice because that way I get a box that I want, I paint it, I finish it, then I go and buy the next one and enjoy getting that and putting it together and then thinking about enjoying painting it. So I think it's a good thing to do. And with fantasy, I mean, I've got so much stuff for fantasy sitting here. I don't really need any more. It's the problem of actually storing it and I want to display it. So that's one of the issues is having the and I know Palmer just picked up a nice cabinet from IKEA, which looks really nice actually. And he can display his armies. It looks so much nicer that you can show off your figures that you painted.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys agree with that.
What's it's like really nice would be, as you said, having a display cabinet so you can show off your armies.
Yeah.
And just like my little display cabinets I have back there, or right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for years, everything was always in tubs. You had tubs upon tubs. It's like, or containers, like my whole wall, they're just stacks of tubs in there. The other back room is, Dan can testify that the back area is full of tubs.
Yeah, you're 100%.
Are those tubs full of whiskey or miniatures?
Miniatures.
Okay.
Well, all the whiskey's now upstairs.
You got a display cabinet full of whiskey too, though.
Yeah, I do.
I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, you got to do a video on your whiskey collection.
Yeah,
Rusty,
there is a wee bit. It's like that's the biggest issue when the show's coming up. Is like I was looking at it going, what do I want to taste tonight?
Just count them up and roll a D6 or whatever, roll D20 or D100.
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 Now you're getting close.
That's like I ran out of room to put whiskey in. So
this might be a good opportune moment for me to depart here, and I get to enjoy listening to you later when I watch the stream later to see what Tim and Dan, yourself, Rusty, choose to do with your winnings in the lottery. I hope you do win it, but spare some money for me if you've got some change. All right, out of that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Gifts going around. That'd be
But thank you very much for inviting me.
You got to look out after your fellow gamers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good to see you, Josh.
Yeah, no, it's good to see you, Dan. Good to see you, Tim.
Yeah.
Thanks very much again for inviting me on, and I hope Palmer comes back in one piece.
He may not want to come back after listening to this.
Maybe he's really hungover. That's why he couldn't make it. He had to make up some excuse. Maybe that was what it was. We'll find out. But anyway, guys, you enjoy your evening, and I'll catch you again later.
All right.
Have a Merry Christmas,
Josh.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Okay, take care.
All right.
That was a nice surprise.
That was a great surprise. Way to go, Rusty.
Yeah.
Dino says you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning or attacked by a shark than winning the Powerball. Exactly.
Oh, 100%.
It's just fun.
fun to dream for a minute or two, you know.
I have a dream. It's a small dream, but a dream all the same.
And it would probably suck and everything else, but
Yeah, but it's fun to talk about.
yep, it
It's
is.
not like we're sitting around here like sitting on pins and needles, like thinking we're going to get it. But it is good. It is nice to ruminate about what you might do. You know?
Yeah, I think if nothing else, it makes you think about, what it's just an interesting exercise in self-reflection or goals or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always.
Speaking of which, Dan, what would you do?
Yeah, I thought about it, and just just hobby wise. Well, first of all, I would just make sure the rest of my life was so that I didn't, I wouldn't be farming. I'll tell you that. Been there, done that, So, yeah. What first thing I'd love to do is just I'd have I'd make a hobby room like Josh said too, like tons of room, just wonderful lighting, totally climate controlled and clean and large enough to have multiple tables set up and like full, like where you had got food and fridge and like the whole basement was just like my gaming room. Tear walls out, even, I mean, just like, yeah, that would be awesome, where you could have a bunch of people, even plenty of room for storage, plenty of room to paint, plenty of room to display, have cabinets and shelves so I could have things displayed and proper lighting. But yeah, that'd be, and then I'd love to do like go to Salute, or go to Warhammer World, or go to the Foundry does their games day thing. What do they call it? Bring out your lead.
Oh yeah.
I just love to. That would be cool.
Actually, take vacations going to gaming events or conventions and.
Yeah, see, and that's the problem. Like now, I'm not saying I couldn't go over there. I have been overseas a few times, but when you're with the family, isn't like I'm gonna. I mean, it's not. I would go over there for the reason of just doing those things. Of course, then you'd stay a month so you could check out all the castles and any of the other historic sites that you're going to be painting or gaming at some point. Yeah, so that's basically what I would do. But I would definitely, I wouldn't. There aren't like a bunch of miniatures I would buy or a bunch of terrain I'd buy. Maybe I'd get a bunch of the tabletop worlds, like medieval terrain they have. But yeah, I got plenty to paint, and I wouldn't. I even thought about would I have commissioned painted a bunch of stuff, and I absolutely no. I would want just more time so that I could paint myself.
Yeah.
Because as we've talked before, I enjoy the painting process, and for me, the pursuing the project is fun. I think Tim gets some of that too. Well, and I know you do too, Rusty. But like planning your project, whether it's historic or fantasy or science fiction, but just doing the research and getting the lore and
Yep.
deciding the direction you want to go and collecting them and painting them. And I like to do the tables and the terrain on a fairly decent level. And for me, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the planning of the project, just the process of the project. And then for me, it's so rewarding to then put those miniatures on the table and play. And I think if I bought all painted stuff or terrain or armies, to me, I think it'd just be like playing a board game. I enjoy it and I would think it was fun, but to get that real true satisfaction, I like it to have been done by me and my own twist, my own skill set. I mean, there's people that paint way better, but it's just that's the fun part of the hobby. So I wouldn't take any of that away, but I would allow where I had a lot more time, nicer space, things like that to do it in. But yeah, otherwise purchases and to travel, like I'd said, to actually go to Warhammer World or go to Foundries, Bring Out Your Lead, or even just the United States, Historicon, or I haven't even been to Adepticon. it finally now that's maybe becoming somewhat of a reality as my livestock chores have dropped way back to almost nothing, and some other things in the family have gotten sorted out, and so I've got a little more freedom now. But anyway, that's what I would do. Otherwise, it's kind of the same old thing, but just more of it, you know?
Yeah. So, lots of display cabinets then.
Lots of well-lit display cabinets, and a room that I don't have. I have literally like when I got octopus cords strung in here, and poor lighting. And I mean, it's you've been here. It's functional.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but it's too crowded. It's too small. And it'd be nice to have like where you could have maybe 3 tables even set, and then also allow yourself to make like a 12-foot table or a huge table if you wanted to for some reason. But
Yeah.
like I had one table set up with my complicated, bolt action train, and then another table that's set up maybe for 15 millimeter ACW, or so you don't have to pack all of that away and change the setup. And all of a sudden somebody's like, "Hey, how about a bolt action game this weekend?" I'm like, "Well, the whole table is jammed full," or I'm in the middle of a game with somebody or a campaign we're playing. So yeah, no, sorry. I'd like to be able to have like 3 different tables set up. I think it'd be cool. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, sorry, that's me. That's what I do. That's me.
How about you, Tim? What would you do?
I see. I've thought about this, and just like with you guys, and I'm sure a lot of us gamers would do that we would love to go to all those places that we've never been to. Adepticon, as close as it was for me, I never made it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I didn't even know about it for the longest time. I'd love to go to England and go to all those shows that they have. Like they're one-day shows, so it's not like it's going to take up a lot of time, but it would be fun to go and experience all that.
Yep.
But one of the things I'd like to do before I settled on my own personal interest, I would like to find like a gaming store that has a good group that's kind of struggling. You know what I mean? Because it's always a struggle with a small business like that.
Yep.
And maybe not tell anyone, not make anything public, but just go in and go, "I got your building for you."
Yeah. How
Support
cool would that
the
be?
hobby. I don't need that pat on the back. Give me a parade for what. Just kind of go in,
Mm-hmm.
because basically we're hobbyists first. We love the hobby. It's what brought us all together. And especially at my advanced age, if I could leave like a solid thing, like that this is going to last a while,
Mm-hmm.
that would be pretty cool. That would be something I would really like to do. To say that I laid a foundation for this group, this business to thrive into the future.
Yeah.
Now that would take some research because then you're like looking at people, what kind of people are running it? Are they talented enough? Are they disciplined enough? Are they savvy enough to make it happen? Not just that they love the hobby, but they really have to have some like business
sense, yeah,
sort of thing. Or maybe set up something that like I don't know, just gaming. If we're just talking gaming wise, like almost like a I don't know, like a fund or a scholarship for struggling gaming, where they could like this is what we're doing, this is what we have, this is what we kind of need, and people put in for it, and then you could kind of pick out the one that, or have a group of people, not me, but have a group of knowledgeable people pick out, going, this is the store we need to help. This is
like a grant program.
like a grant program, yeah, kind of,
yeah,
to just kind of help them along, kind of show love for the hobby in kind of a behind the scenes way.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, other than the travel, because and one thing I'd love to do is I snatch you guys up and we do like a world tour.
Oh yeah.
We just get the four of us and we'll just go to all those places and just go walk into these clubs, that around the world, and just maybe, have a game, just for that sort of world travel experience. Just,
Yep.
I think that would be fun. But then after I'd kind of done that, and for my own personal thing, one, I would love to have a store where I could try to help bring people into the hobby and grow the hobby, and try to make it my goal would be make it into a welcoming place, because I've been to too many where, you got the gatekeepers, people, they're this is our place snobbery kind of thing that goes on. And I would just not want to have that. It's more like, come in, we'll fit you in.
Yeah, very welcoming. Yeah.
Now, my own personal gaming space, I saw a fellow, I forget what group I follow, but he was talking about how he had lived in this one house for a very long time, and he was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to set up a new gaming area. Well, he was showing pictures of his old gaming room. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it was fabulous. It was wonderful. I forgot. I wish I could remember which group it is, but I follow so many and I get so many notifications. But he had these beautiful, he had like four, they were like 6x4 or 4x8 tables, had 3 or 4 of them. He had different weapons and pictures and everything along these walls. It was and everything was out of that really nice wood grain stuff. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And it would be like something like that. Mm-hmm. But I like Dan's idea of having enough tables to where you would have things out that you could just go to without rearranging everything in your hobby room to get something started. You know what I mean? I've seen those people that make those real expensive gaming tables that, they even have like tops you can put all over them. Yeah. And so they double as like regular tables. Mm-hmm. And, I could probably have something like that commission made and, of course, delivered to my new home with my new gaming, garage, or I'll call it a temple is what it would be. And yeah, they would be, as far as gaming goes, that would be my thing. And really the travel to the places to see it firsthand how others do it. Mm-hmm. I think would be very interesting. And it would be nice to, I don't know, look at all the commonality that goes on in gaming rooms. Well, I don't care whether it's in Japan or in England or wherever. And everywhere around the world, I'm sure that you run into the same kind of people everywhere playing the game.
Oh yeah.
And it would be fun to see that firsthand and experience maybe their interpretation is completely different of how you should do it. That would be interesting to
Yeah.
see what, maybe they think that ultra competitive gaming is the only way you should play, or maybe they think that they would find that absolutely abhorrent, to think that you would be so competitive at something that is so random. Which that's the way I've always thought. After my first few experiences of playing competitive games and tournaments, I thought this is kind of silly, where we're competitive over something that revolves around basically a game of chance. We're basically playing craps most of the time.
Something to be said about that.
Well, yeah, and the game isn't necessarily even balanced anyway. So I mean, what does it mean? But yeah,
but it would be interesting to see others' points of views and the way they behave in their gaming. I would think, since humans are basically the same, and we men tend to be competitive by nature anyway, you're going to wind up finding the same kind of guys. I don't care where you go. We're all going to be pretty much the same. You're going to have really good guys. You're going to have the rules lawyers. You're going to have the guy that will finagle every rule and every opportunity to twist things. You're going to find the out and outright cheat. You'll find it all. And I don't care where you go. You'll find those guys.
I agree.
It would be fun to just travel around and just game about the world, That would be fun. But to me, as far as, I think I would find a few of those painters that I really like around the world, and I would pay them to paint an army for them. Not all my armies, but say, I'm going to pay you an exorbitant amount of money to paint this. It's good. I want you to jettison all your other projects. I'm going to make it worth your while to do so. But I want your undivided attention on this, and support them in a way that that would be beneficial both for them and for me, because then I would get this great painted army, and then they would get a large sum of money.
Yeah.
So it would be, I'd be supporting the hobby and the group as a whole by supporting that one person that may allow them to branch out and be more productive themselves, within the community, the small little things like that. I think in our hobby would go a lot further than a large, like put on a great big convention or something somewhere that, maybe on a day or two it works for a certain group of people, but then it's done. I would rather help a lot fewer people, but over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Something like, I would always thought, it's like the whole concept of we used to have game convention here in Des Moines.
Right.
And we no longer have it. It'd be kind of cool to take some of that money and actually build a convention that's, it's not a competition with anybody else, but at least have something of that nature. And
and that'd be great. I mean, those sorts of things where you're helping the community of gamers as a whole by providing them that place, plus the merchants that come, plus that you help the community out by, they're able to come and sell their wares at the conventions and stuff like that. To me, that's a very noble thing to do.
Yeah, plus the exposure that the hobby gets when you have that kind of, because there aren't things like that right around here necessarily now. So if you could create some of that,
Yeah.
would be
Instead of having
and-
everybody
and
hiding in the
make it-
basement.
Make
yes.
it, that would be great if you could, like Josh said, bring in, have a place where they could actually come and stay.
Yeah.
Um, wasn't there a few years back? I remember, wasn't there a group like in Canada or somewhere where somebody was doing that, where they had like a gaming hall and they had set up like a bunkhouse basically for gamers.
Well,
Do you remember that? I can't remember
well,
who did.
Gen Con does that. If you host a game, it's like if you're hosting so many days of gaming, they would give you housing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but this
I don't know if they still do it, but that I've done that.
Yeah, but this is like was just a gaming group that was so big that they had their own store basically, but they also had rooms there that you stayed there and came and play. I don't know if it was successful or not, but it was like, I remember I heard them talking about it before COVID, and I can't remember what group it was.
Well, I don't know what blue table painting is.
I think, yeah, I know that. Was it that? That guy that has the massive 40K army.
Oh, Mini Wargaming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do. I think. Well, yeah, I think partly for their show they will house people.
Yeah, but I remember they were doing a thing where they were having, you'd pay, like, you go and stay and play games and stuff for like a weekend or something, and then you would booger off somewhere else and they'd have another group come in. So it's kind of like basically like my hunting trip when I took to Montana. It was like you go and you stay in a bug house instead of going hunting. You go down to a gaming hall and play games.
Yeah, blue table painting. They used to have a games day or weekend where they had it at a lodge.
Okay.
And everybody would stay in a different room. You hosted. They had to keep the gaming area, but everybody had a room. They'd stay in a room. It was like a resort lodge.
Right.
They rent out for the whole weekend, so you'd pay for the weekend. A very similar thing like that. So they provided you breakfast, dinner, and all the meals and everything. So you didn't have to go anywhere, and you just spent the whole weekend throwing dice.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Can't picture that.
Something like that would actually be pretty fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you talk to a bunch of those organizers and stuff, that the amount of work and headache that they go through is probably a lot. A lot.
But if you had that kind of money, you'd hire somebody to take care of it.
Money, you hire that stuff to be done. You hire people that do that sort of thing to come in and
they're
run.
happy to do it, and you're happy to provide the money, and everybody's happy.
And eventually, it sort of becomes its own business entity that takes care of itself. So
yeah, it can, right?
Yeah.
I always thought, so we haven't even gotten to me yet, but
yeah, go ahead.
Same old thing. We're thinking about it. It's like if you had the money, it's like first thing is you have to design the home that you're going to live in, and a large chunk of it, like the basement area, you're going to have a common area where I'm going to have the cabinetry that goes around. It's all going to have to be wood with the good lighting, and it's all going to be display cabinets. So I got all these armies that are sitting in tubs. I could actually put them on display for once. Everything, like a whole army in one cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing would be is like I would love to have it so I could have like 5-6 tables, big tables, that would have drawers in them, so you could pull the drawers out, and you could have stuff in there, all the supplies you needed for that game, and so you could set the game up, and if you're playing a campaign, it doesn't have to go anywhere.
Right.
You know, you can have it set up, so it's like you could be playing for a year, and play a couple turns and come back again, play a couple more turns. And
that's what I'm thinking.
And I would have a bar in it.
You would.
No way.
You even have a bartender.
You'd have all kinds of
you could have a bartender, right?
festive goodies in there. So the interesting thing would be like all the good liquors from around the world would be in that place. So if you feel like having a scotch from 50-year-old scotch, I can afford it.
Yes.
So Dan, you need some scotch. There you go.
Right over.
The whole idea of, like you said, Tim, of actually paying somebody to paint a complete army, because there's so many different. I'd love to have like a large Napoleonic armies again, but in
me too. I don't want to paint it, but I'd love to have it.
Yeah, that because there's only so much you can paint, and I have so many different interests in gaming types, and so okay, I'll have, if I want to, I can leave up this table. We'll have a Napoleonic campaign going on. Set it up right there. It's on that table. So play a few turns. It's huge, large, and have the ability to. We're talking, instead of just 4x8 tables, they could be 4x12s or large, long
6x.
Yeah.
So you can play a large campaign in 15 mil if you wanted to.
Play the whole game of Borodino on one table.
Yeah, exactly. Now I've played Battle of Austerlitz at, on 6 mil before, and that thing was huge. We're talking like table was like 20 foot long.
Yeah.
To have the ability to do something like that would be really cool. Then obviously there would be a video gaming area, because my son, he plays video games all the time. So if they wanted to come over and play video games, you have a 100-inch plasma or LCD TV up on the wall with surround sound and the gaming chairs. And
man, that all sounds good. I can't find anything wrong with any of what you're saying. Yeah, any of you guys are saying.
And the motif would be around the walls. You'd have, it would be built like a Hobbit home. So you got all that wood grain and pillars and everything in there, and the brickwork. So it'd make like a nice little Hobbit hole in parts of it. So, but you'd still have swords and paraphernalia like that. So, like souvenirs from battlefields, it's like that you fought in, that whole.
That's cool.
And obviously there'd be posters and, like movie posters sections, like over where the video game area would be. You'd have movie posters up, and it was theater seating kind of thing too. Like there'd be a theater involved too. So if you wanted to watch a movie, just throw it in and kick back, and there you go.
Wow. I'm glad I live close to you.
Yeah.
Then if either one of us wins, we'll both be in luck.
Yeah, exactly. We'd have to help each other build our dreams.
Absolutely. Yeah, when my wife buys a lottery ticket every so often when it gets up there too, so there's a chance. Not much, but.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of the things I always thought about. And obviously, another thing is I, Mel and I had a gaming company at one time.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to put some money into something like that, because one of my friends he helps out and built Firelot Games.
Oh yeah.
Because I was, he was one of my customers, and that's something he did. It's like he decided to take some of the money that he had from selling Alienware and put it towards a game company.
There you go. You wouldn't even have to take any risk hardly that way.
No, not at all. It's like, and so one of the things you could be doing is you're playing games and actually have, a game company to go with it. Then you could actually have the money to put into and make those really cool looking books that everybody loves.
Yes. And all those gaming aids that we haven't talked about yet. You can make all that cool stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dino says here, how about a wargaming hostel?
There you go.
That's kind of what some of you guys have hinted at.
Yeah.
Including Josh.
I think that if you would rent out a lodge and actually, have all the rooms, like I'm renting all the rooms, and people that want to come, you could cut the cost down and be able to stay there for the convention for a really low price.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of $100 a night, I say, hey, we'll drop it down to 25 or something like that. So it make it worth them be able to actually go to the convention and enjoy the entertainment.
Yeah.
And then have a food service area so that, you don't have to go running out and spending money out of your pocket, it's for a nominal fee. You could just say, hey, this is like Vegas, it's like, remember the days of the buffet?
Yes.
Yeah. When the buffet was actually worth having.
Yeah. My last trip to Vegas, there was no more buffets. And it wasn't cheap.
Really?
Oh, no. It was expensive.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
And it also says I might make one of those enormous BattleTech city maps with full 3D terrain, or maybe a full 4x8 Mordheim table. Most definitely.
A 4x8 Mordheim table. Woof.
That would be cool.
One of my customers, he had a full size, about a quarter of his basement. He sent pictures of it, of Minas Tirith, the battlefield.
No way.
Yes. He had the towers, the walls, and everything. He had it built for him. He was a captain in the Navy, so he was retired, and he worked for the government too, so he had his pension and everything, and he's like, he had it built.
Cool.
I painted all kinds of stuff for him. He had thousands upon thousands of Lord of the Rings miniatures.
Oh, God, that would be cool.
That would be something I'd love to have, is just actually have a big giant diorama that you have on display behind glass so it doesn't get all dusty. But
Yep. Yeah, that would be cool. I'll give you that.
So it's kind of those things that if you ever did win the lottery, you just sit down and say, okay, time to start planning.
Well, see, we're lucky. We've already kind of done our planning. We're just waiting for the numbers to come in.
Then the wife would have to be, the upstairs has to be part of their
domain.
So.
Yeah, you got to make them happy.
I know my wife would love to have a big giant TV and entertainment so she could watch all of her Steelers games.
Oh yeah, there you go.
She'd be going, and then she'd probably want to go to the football games too. So I need box seats.
You probably have cash for that.
Yeah. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We got both topics. Well, we haven't done the other topic, have we?
Well, I was about ready to say we want to start into the next topic of
yeah, we can do that.
Gaming aids.
Might as well.
The topic was
Cameron and I are not getting along.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. A bit of an argument.
having an argument with an inanimate object.
And it's winning.
As long
And
as, long
it-
as you win in the end, it's probably okay.
That's right. I'll just unplug it and throw it away.
I'll teach it.
Yeah, I'll teach it.
All right, the question is favorite game extras, counters, casualty markers, modifiers. Is it important getting those game extras? Survey says.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's a must-have.
I'll go first because that was my topic, and I love like casualty markers and like I've seen some people that really go the extra mile in doing like activation markers and like objective markers and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff. I just think, especially if it's really themed for the time period and the kind of game you're playing, I think it just adds to the game itself. There's certain things that, I mean, we all have, that we can use. I mean, obviously the basic one is dice. We can put dice all over the table representing a myriad of different things.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go that extra mile to create a banner or a supply depot or something like that, that's actually like your objective. It looks like an objective. It has that, okay, I see that, instead of it just, okay, this box here represents this.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you've got, we all kind of started that way where we were just whatever we had at hand. But I have just, because I'm starting this thing where I'm working on this solo wargaming thing, and I've thought about how creative people could get with this. I haven't done the video yet, so I'm not going to go into real detail right now about it, but all kinds of extras, like from casualties to objective markers and counters and wound markers. You could have like, I saw one guy one time, the way he did his casualties, he had like a little, like it looked like a stone, and it had swords in it that he had behind the unit. And he added up the damage that it had by placing swords in the thing.
Yeah, cool.
I thought that was brilliant. Sword in the stone, and all that kind of stuff. And I've actually seen people. I saw a guy one time. He had like a little. It's like this little slot thing, and it was attached to the movement base, with like a little, is L-shaped, and it slid right underneath the unit base, and he just dropped like little chits, little counter pieces in it, and it kind of filled up. I thought that was pretty cool. That's stuff like that you could take from game to game because it's like nondescript. But I tend to like those things that are specifically designed for like a time period.
Yeah, very thematic stuff.
Yeah, say you're Bretonians. You could have one of those like one of those what do they call their spellcasters?
The damsels.
The damsels, yes. You have one of those behind there with like a chalice, and you could fill the chalice up with stuff, or just have a bigger chalice behind the unit and just put in like, this is how many wounds you've done, or this is the effect of the spell, or whatever. Stuff like that was always, that was the one thing about like back in the heyday of the old world. You had some very creative people doing some very creative things to go to tournaments to show off what they'd done. And some people did some absolutely fantastic looking extras. And I almost thought that added to the game, added to the look and the feel, and because you knew, yeah, they wanted a little applause for it, but you knew that they did that because of the game itself.
Yeah.
That they used that at home too. It wasn't just like, I'm just going to take this is just to go to these big fancy
right
tournaments and things. It was because that's what they felt about the system and the game itself. And I always thought those things were they were important in a way that you know, not like the rules, not like the miniatures. They have I don't know, there's an appeal to them. Like you could do it like with special banners, like different little banners with, like, say, okay, if it takes a wound, you got a banner behind it with 1 star on it, and then you just keep you have up to a certain, like in Hail Caesar, most of your stamina is maxed out at 6, 8 if it's a large unit, and so you could just put like different banners there with the different numbers on it, going, okay, it's got 8 damage and or something, you know, stuff like that. It doesn't look odd on the table.
It actually adds to the game.
That'd be kind of cool. Is that I've seen at conventions where people would take spell effects, because I've seen, we used to play like War Machine.
Yeah.
Different things have different effects, and they'd make their own little templates and decorate it. Yeah. And one thing I always try to do is, like, there's some game systems like the battle group game that I have. They have orders and counters and stuff that go with that you can just cut out. But I actually ordered the specific ones online that are really kind of nice. The chits and everything, so they, they're laser cut and that kind of thing, and it adds to the game. You're having something really nice like that. And I'm a firm believer in this. If anything that can make the game look better, and I would love if, like, the old world would actually, because you have all these spells that you have for each army or whatever, or how it would be. It would be kind of nice if, like, Games Workshop would actually produce the template or something, or just a little marker or something. This is spell effects, and
you go like this unit is now affected by this, and put that thing by the unit itself.
Yes, exactly. So
there's some places doing 3D printed stuff, like the Vortex. They've got, and you can put them on instead of just this template floating around the table.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a company here in Indiana, I think he's in Vincennes or South, called Litco Graphics.
Oh yeah, I've ordered from Litco.
Yeah. They do all kinds of that kind of stuff. I've got like all my shaken and disordered markers are from them.
Okay.
The only thing that I wish I could come up with is a way of, I'd like to put it something like that on the unit itself, and not having it lay on the table. Like, have it like basically on a banner pole, but just slide it in there, because you can be disordered and shaken, or you can be shaken or disordered. So you need, like, to be able to add them or take them off. I've thought about how to do that. I saw a guy one time, the way they did their counters and stuff for their dice was they had like a little square that would go behind each unit, and it was magnetized to the big movement tray, and so that's where they put their wound dice and stuff, and it traveled around with the unit itself. I made some of those, but I would like to make something like that for my disorder and shaken markers. So they're not just like laying on the table. They're kind of where, like, if my opponent could see them, instead of having to move it to the front if this happens, or move it to the side if this happens. Have it like be part of actually a movement tray or a base itself that can fit inside the unit. So it's there, but not in the way.
Yeah.
I should think about that and come up with something to do that with, because that would make that so much handier to be able to lift that stuff up off the tabletop, so the tabletop doesn't look cluttered with stuff. That's why I like the stuff that's very themed, because it doesn't look that way. It looks like part of
the game,
what's going on,
the unit, or part of the terrain, or whatever.
Yeah.
Area.
Yeah, and that's why I like casualty markers. You know, the one thing I liked. Oh gosh, I can't think what they were called. What group it was from. Oh, I can't remember the manufacturer, but I did them for my Dark Age, and they have like casualty. They have both one for their cavalry and their infantry. They have a casualty marker in there, and I thought that was a pretty cool addition to a sprue. And I would think that if somebody could come up with like the War Games Atlantic, they have really great sprues, but if they could just slide a casualty marker sprue in there, where it's like a guy on horseback, a couple of guys on, like just a couple of dead guys, that just you put them on a base and lay them down, and I just think it would add to it.
I know that Mantic does that. They'll have casualties.
Perry Brothers, they have usually one on each sprue, don't they? They do on their AWI. Yeah, there's a British casualty, one on each sprue.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
The Perry miniature ones?
Yep. The Perry plastic.
Okay.
I've got one laying right up here.
Yeah.
It was that
all that kind of stuff to me is kind of that. It's that little cool little extra thing that people can have. That
adds a little flavor to the game.
Plus, it's fun to do the creative part of that. I think, like, how can I make that, have it be cool, unique, blend in with the game, but also do what it's supposed to do in the game.
I actually saw a guy one time, he, like for his undead, I forget whether it was like for the spells or something, but he had like skulls on like a totem.
Yes, I've seen that too.
And where he dropped he would just put the totem down and put a number of skulls on it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And we got New Squalor in here.
Just similar little stuff like that.
Of the Familiar Edition, I seen a turn counter for Park Alley, which had a cylinder for a 6-shooter. Each turn ends when they remove a shell case.
How cool is that?
That's cool. Now, see stuff like that. To me, that's creative. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. I seen at a convention where they had a chariot racing game. They had the arena and everything, the circus.
Yeah.
And as you're going around, and they had the dolphins actually for the turns, like they just like I thought that was really cool. It was a nice little addition to the game. So there's all kinds of things you can do for adding flavor to your games. I know when we were playing Car Wars, or not Car Wars, but Gaslands.
Gaslands, yeah.
And when we were playing that, there was so much stuff for Gaslands that you could get off Etsy that is all 3D printed. Now, if I was playing it and I got my printer, I would be printing all kinds of stuff for that game.
Mm-hmm.
That would make it really. Because I got a whole drawer of 3D printed stuff I bought off Etsy that for making cars and putting things on a table. But they got all kinds of templates and barriers and you name it.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking like for my Persians, I got a lot of those extra Sparrowbara shields. You know, the wicker shields with the little designs on them. I got a whole bunch of extra ones of those. I thought about doing something like that for being like counting up points of damage, you know, to where they could be like laid behind a unit or something. So it would look like battlefield debris, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
I don't know. I just like those kind of additives, and I'm a real fan. After I saw that, oh God, I can't even think of where I got them from, because somebody corrected me. I posted the wrong name, and somebody corrected me on one of the. I don't know why I posted the wrong name because it was right on the box. But I actually posted the name of where I bought them from, actually, as opposed to the actual manufacturer. And see, yeah. Oh, I know what it was. It was I posted it as the Gripping Beast miniatures, but they were actually, oh God, Gripping Beast sells them.
They do sell front rank now, don't they?
Yeah, they sell front rank, but this was like a Dark Age range,
Okay.
but they're the ones that have the casualty marker in them. And again, I'm a real fan of that. I love that whole idea. I just wish, like,
more ranges did that, or more
I
manufacturers.
would make that suggestions to War Games Atlantic to come up with a sprue of casualties.
You know, and you should suggest it, because actually they oftentimes will even, they really love feedback, and they even ask for what do people want to see us make,
Yeah.
and they respond to it. Anyway, that's a good idea. I bet they'd love it, because I would love that.
Well, and just think of all the different sets that they have.
Oh,
You
good
could
grief.
get like a box, and it would have all these different random casualties in it from like their Dark Age range. Their
Old Glory 15s have casualties markers like that.
do they?
For ACW, they do. Is that what you mean? Yeah. I have a pack.
How about for your are you saying ACW or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that means that all their other ranges do too, but those do.
Because we've been playing that Glory Hallelujah with the
Epic, right?
epic scale stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and that would be pretty cool to have casualty markers, so you know you're not putting all the little dice out there and stuff. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, it's handy,
Sure.
but it does take away from the artistic appeal of the game itself. You know what I mean? Where the artistic look of the game, like if you spend a lot of time painting miniatures and you got your nice terrain and stuff, and you've got your game out there, and all of a sudden you got all these little plastic markers and dice and all this gobbledygook all over the table. I don't know. It just takes away from the look, you know. But if you have something that's themed and looks like it belongs there, I think it looks better.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think it would look better. Wouldn't look nearly as
actually starts adding a level of realism to it.
Especially if it's like you could use like in any like a World War II game or something like a blown up vehicle or a crashed aircraft to represent something, you know, some sort of destruction and mayhem.
I like when they take the guys will take those tea lights.
Yeah, I've made some of those and put
battery out tea lights, and they put the cotton and everything on it that looks like flames.
Yeah, and they spray paint it black and stuff, and it does. I made a few of those, and Mark and I will use them even like when we mark, like when you are trying to mortar and and you miss, but your next turn you got a better chance to hit.
Right.
And so then you mark it helps everybody remember who got shot at. It looks cool on the table, so it's doing all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool because then Oh, what was that 15 millimeter World War game? Oh, I got
of
all
War?
these miniatures. Flames of War.
Flames of War.
Yeah, that's the way some of their artillery was. Is like you had a ranging shot and it had this template, and then
Mm-hmm.
could get closer and stuff. That would be pretty cool to have stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now put that on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like an actual explosion. Then you measure from there and stuff. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a real big fan of like casualty markers and actual debris
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually put on the table, or something that if you do have to have markers, it's something that lifts it up off the table surface itself.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I've run into that problem where I'm working through this solo game. I've got a lot of things on the table, and as I look at it, I think that it's kind of distracting.
Mhm.
You want it. I want it there for informative purposes, but I don't want it to distract from the look of the table. And I think having it like on like a banner pole or something, not garishly high, but something like
Yeah.
unit size to where you can actually put things in it that you want,
Mhm.
might be the way to go, and where it doesn't take up a huge footprint and disturbs the look of the table that much.
Right.
I find that that's what made me think of this topic, and I was having a lot of extra things I was doing, and I thought, man, I'm not liking this so much, but I'm going to have to figure something out with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so
even
then,
just
then I started thinking about the things that I did like and the things that I have seen, and that's why I came up with the topic. What's your favorite little extra counters or devices? Because one of the things that I do like about Litco, they came up with I don't know if they're for bolt actions, but they're these little counter pieces that you can turn, or wound markers and stuff.
Yeah, those dials, those magnetic dials.
I think those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a system that would benefit too much from that sort of thing, but if you have a lot of stuff to keep track of, like on like an aircraft or like different
Bolt
things.
action uses those.
Does
a lot
it?
of them. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
It's the suppression
Pin marker.
pin markers stuff.
Yeah. Because every time you get hit, you take a pin, so you rotate it. And you can, it's not uncommon to have anywhere from 1 to 5 pins. That's common.
Pandemonium.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I like too, is Tim's taking it kind of a little bit next level. I even just enjoy, like, for my German bolt action, for each of my nationalities, I have like German dice, and I have I've got a metal tin that I find them in antique stores or whatever, and I spray paint them, and then I put a decal on the top that matches like the unit that they're supposed to represent. And so then my German dice go in there, and my German pin markers that have the German flag, or you can pick what, or mine happens to be a specific German unit, and so I have that on my markers. And then, like you say, the puffs of smoke, and then when my teams take damage, there'd be like a 3 or a 4-man team usually. I've got casualty figures that Black Tree Design makes, and so I put each one of those counts as a down a guy, and so it looks cool on the table that way. And even like for my Bretonians, my Duke's colors are green and yellow, so I have green and yellow dice. I got a new edition. I ordered it. It was only like $15, but I online I found a gold chalice, a regular size gold chalice that I'm going to use to have my dice sitting in on the table, because it's all about the Grail. And so I'm like,
all that kind of stuff.
And I got a t-shirt, and every time I went to a bolt action tournament, if I had a different faction, I had a t-shirt that I could find online that matched the unit that my, whether it was the Soviets or the Germans or the Americans, what it represented. And then on my bag, I have a Warlord Games, one of their miniature carriers cases, and they have a thing on top that's got Velcro. And their point was you could put bolt action on it, or you could put pike and shot on it. So whatever your game system, and it comes with all the patches. And I thought, so I went on and I got for my first one, I found like a US. I think I was doing the the First Infantry Division. So I found a First Infantry Division patch, put the Velcro thing out, so it was on my case too, and then I could swap it out. So when I was the Germans, I had the German one on it, and right now I've got the hammer and sickle on there because I was doing the Soviets. I just like even that stuff. Just even my dice, everything is like coordinated to the army.
And like I said, it's not necessary for the game.
No,
but it does
part of the
add.
theme, and like you say, just have a bunch of dice laying around on the table, that works, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And they do. There's like Litco even probably makes those little dice holders for the different size dice. They're little wooden where you could set the dice in, and they even have a little, a little place where you could put an emblem or just flock them, so they just kind of, and the dice don't roll and you don't pick them up by accident. I mean, I even like stuff like that,
Yeah. That one I saw, he was doing a game and had pictures of it, and like I said, they had those little squares that were magnetized to the back of their movement bases.
Yes.
And it kept all the wound dice just on that, and so you didn't have it. It wasn't like you had to pick it up every time. It was actually connected to the actual tray. So I like that sort of thing. The thing is with the shaken and disordered markers that I have, they're kind of, I don't know, they're about 2.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. So they're pretty good size.
Okay.
So if you start putting them out on the table, and you can put them out and have to pick them up, but I'd rather have it to where they're up high. So because a lot of times what you want to do is you just put them behind your unit, because all the action takes to the front, and you don't want it sitting out there. So you always put it back. Well, if you're playing across the table, I've actually forgot my own stuff to take it off, because like, order comes off at the end of your turn, and sometimes just because of where I've had to move it, I just didn't notice it. And it could have it like on like some sort of carrier. I mean, not something like those little clip things, but something where it just kind of would slide in there and you pull it out, and something that would look too garish on the table. I love the old plain and simple 40K ambush markers. Parts. Orc arm and a head poking out of a pie.
Anything that adds a little bit of extra flavor.
Well, and then like Rusty and Fire and Fury in the rule book. Remember, they show you how to make the different markers for low on ammo. Damaged artillery. They had all the different things. They even show you, they give you ideas, and they have pictures of them and the size of base to put them on. I mean, there was like 5 or 6 different like markers, and they show using 15 mil miniatures how to make that, and then you put that on to show they're disrupted, or to show they're low on ammo, or to show they're broken, or different things, and it's pretty cool. And you just put those markers on the table. There's more miniatures, but it represents something.
Did you ever get any of the Warlord games for the bolt action? They had the look like a rifle with a helmet on top of it.
I did not, and part of it was, well, they looked kind of tippy and stuff to me, but it was a very cool idea.
Yeah, I have a blister in someplace.
I never thought used it.
It's like mounting them on like little washers.
Yeah, that they need something like that.
And I have some of them. I just need to find what I ever did with them. But it's like have one on a washer, and then put 2 on a washer.
And they looked really cool, and I love the idea.
Yeah, I think there's like 20 or 30 of them in a blister.
Yes.
Were they like wound markers and that kind of thing,
They
or
were
damage
also
markers?
pin markers. The
Pin
big thing
Pin
is
markers.
pins.
Oh, okay.
And I got the little, they're off of, a guy makes them by hand, but they're little flag ones basically, or unit insignias, and they have a little dial on them. So
Yeah.
they're easy to see, but it blends in nice with the Army and its theme.
Yeah, you can get
You
those.
know,
off
as I'm sitting
Etsy.
here, I'm thinking about things. I was like, I got so many extra shields and
Yes, that's the
swords
kind of stuff.
helmets and heads and
Hmm.
all kinds of stuff that you can use. I just need to get my butt in gear and be creative and start coming up with some stuff. I've got the material.
Even if it's
I just
like
need to
taking an
do
arm,
something.
you know, it's like you have arms with us holding a sword. You know, you could just cut some of that and make it look like it got chopped off. You know, he's like, there you go. It's like a pile of wound markers. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can do all kinds of.
Yeah, or like you said, shields or
Shield. Or you know, a lot of times you have all those extra heads on a sprue, and it's like, well, what am I going to do with them? Well, you make wound markers out of them, or damage markers, or whatever game system you utilizes to,
and drill a little hole in the bottom of the head, stick it on like they're on heads on pikes, and
like a little pie. Let's go.
there you go.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Heads
That'd be cool. And actually, if you really wanted to go all out, you could. They have tiny enough magnets that you could actually put a magnet on the butt end of the pike or something.
Yeah.
And just start adding them to a thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, something like that. And then it could actually sit kind of within the unit or on the edge of a unit or something, to where it would just blend into the thing,
Yeah.
but be large enough to where your opponent, okay, I've done that much damage to that unit there.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't be like a big piece of a dice or
Yeah.
a big number or something sitting out on the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I got
Now
so
you got
much
we got the juices going now, Tim.
Yeah, I got to get some of those Sparrowbara shields out, because I got so many of those. I could do those. It'd be cool if some way I could put them where I could just flip them over individually.
Yeah, right. That would be cool.
Raise them up, like, okay, you've done
Mhm.
a point of damage, another point of damage. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Well, we've gone past our 2-hour mark.
Uh-oh.
It's past midnight.
Yeah, I'm sure people are dropping off.
Yeah, we're down to 2 now.
Yeah,
down
probably.
to 2. Yeah,
Probably I'm gonna drop off soon myself if I don't.
bunch of crazy diehards.
Yeah.
Well, geez, let's see. This is the 18th. In 2 weeks would be the 30th.
38th.
It'll be the 32nd, but it'll probably be what, the 2nd of January?
Yeah.
Is that a Thursday? Yeah. That'd be
Oh,
right.
I don't know. I'd have to look on my phone.
Well, I know Christmas
Calendar.
Day is a Thursday and it's a week later, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I didn't have to get.
Gosh, that'd be the first.
Thursday's the first? Or yeah, you're right. Right. It would be the first.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably
That's what I
not being
meant.
back till the 8th of January. Elvis's birthday.
I didn't know that.
Huh.
It'd be
Okay.
December 43rd. There you go.
Number 43rd.
December. What do you say? December the 43rd? Decembriary.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. We'll just make up our own shit.
There you go.
That's what we do.
Yeah, it's like, I guess we could have a show on Elvis's birthday.
Is that
Well,
disrespectful?
I made my NCO icy. Oh my goodness, he was so mad at me. when I first got to Germany. He was a big Elvis fan, and it was right after Elvis had died.
Oh gosh.
Oops.
And you know how crass Army humor is.
Yes, I do.
We're not gentle folks by any stretch with each other, let alone people we don't like. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said something derogatory about him fitting his big fat ass in a onesie or something, you know, that jump thing he used to wear. And something about his drug use or something. I said something completely. Well, this guy, he was from like Georgia, big, tall, redheaded, and God, he hated me. God, I couldn't have. I don't know what I did, but other than I said that about Elvis,
that kind of ruined it for you.
And my as long as that guy was there, I got every dirty assignment that he could think of. Every extra,
every voluntold activity could be.
Oh my God! Every extra shift, every special duty, everything that was difficult came my way.
I want you out of my man's army.
Yeah. But we actually he got busted for selling stuff on the black market. So I wasn't too upset about that. God, he brought me in his office and he swore up and down I was a plant and that I'd come there specifically to get him, and he hated me. You know, God, I really did. I thought we were going to come to physical blows in his office.
Wow.
Because he thought it was me. And it wasn't me. It was his second in command that did it to him.
Oh.
But he swore up and down it was me. We were out in formation, one of the last formations he ever held, actually. And man, he was coming up and down, and he was screaming and yelling, and it was like, wow. This guy was a loose cannon.
Unhinged.
And what was bad was his brother was in too. I don't think they were twins, but I think I can't remember if his brother was older or younger. And his brother showed up to the post one time, and just to visit his brother. Well, let's just say our NCOIC, his dress screens were pretty sparse as far as decorations go. Pretty sparse. His brother shows up in his dress screens. He had shit from here to here, all kinds of battle ribbons from Vietnam, all kinds of shit. And it was like, well, I guess we know who the real cat in your family is, because he had it all, and he was an intense dude. Well, he was like what was it? E8. Yeah, he was an E8, I think, when he showed up.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, he had the shit going on. Let me tell you, I met a couple of those guys. I had met one command sergeant major. Man, that cat was the dude. I mean, he was the dude. He exuded
dudism,
a level of command and confidence like I'd never witnessed before in my young life. I was 21 and I ran it, and that cat was the dude. I mean, it was like, you just knew it. It was like when that cat showed up, we were at like an accident scene where somebody had died, and we were doing the reports and stuff and taking measurements and all that, taking statements and all that. And he showed up, man. And he wasn't even part of that unit that where we were at, but he showed up, and it was almost like whatever this guy says, I just trust that he's right.
Yeah.
You know, it was just one of those guys. You know, you meet some people that have positions that are beyond their skill set. You know, they've been put in a position because of need, not because of skill. And sometimes that can happen in the service, where somebody's really good at a test and really good at this thing or that thing. But when it comes to actually doing the thing that they need to do, not so much. But this cat, well, yeah. I met we were at another one where a guy got killed, and this guy he was pretty sharp. He was one of those CID agents. And I'd met some of those guys, and they just looked like they were putting in their time and stuff. This cat, he knew his shit. He was wired. He was wired, man. He knew the ins and outs about everything, and he didn't take shit from nobody. Oh my God, he was like warrant officer 3 or 4. I mean, a 4 is about as high as that's as high as they went. But he was cat, man. He's
good. Huh?
Yeah, he knew his job, and he moved. You can always tell somebody's really good at what they do, and because they move different, and they move around with people differently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just something different that you notice in people that are really, I guess, leaders.
Yeah.
We can call them. Just whether they've either learned it or they were born with it, it kind of comes out the same way. They're very good at taking command over a situation. They're very good when things get tense. They're just, you just look at them and go, okay, we're going to do what he says.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just knew it was going to be the right thing. You know, because it just, and heck, never failed. I mean, he was really good, man, and he taught me a lot of stuff. He said, you know, he actually told me one day, he says, you need to get better at what you're doing. And he says, this is how you're going to do it. And it wasn't like he was being mean. He wanted me to be better. And he says, this is what you need to do. And I had, unfortunately for me at my young, naive age and lack of experience and just everything, I had a couple of people that said, look, you just need to come down here and do this and do it until you get it right. Because I remember one time I turned in this report, and I was getting ready to change shifts with the guy, and Death Sergeant walked up. He said, you're not going anywhere. I'd been on like a 12-hour shift. He says, you're not going anywhere. He threw the report back in my face. He says, you do it over and you keep doing it until I approve it. And I was dead tired and I was pissed, but he was right. And I went back even on my days off when I knew he was working, and I went over everything that needed to be in a report. So it wouldn't look like we didn't know what we were talking about. I wanted, like, if anything went to court, that's the first thing they do is they bring somebody like me on the stand and they just rip me a new one, and they make it sound like we don't know what we're talking about or what we're doing because of how the report reads. You know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And so I didn't want that. And I made damn sure it would never happen again. But yeah, that was, and that other guy, he told me other things of what I needed to do about my job performance and what I needed to change. And they were both right. They were both absolutely right. But there was something about the one guy who was there was just something about his character that was. It was different. He walked the walk. You know what I mean? He didn't just preach and
He's the real deal. Yeah.
he was the real deal. It's just they're few and far between that you run into. There's all kinds of people capable of what they're doing, but it's a different kind of cat that inspires other people to get better.
No,
it's a different kind of cat that can do that, and
it's like
I've been fortunate. I've been fortunate in my life. I was able to meet more than a handful of people that have helped me, not in like a financial way, but in real concrete ways like that were just really cool.
Make you better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they made me better.
I suppose it's time to.
Yeah. I got to get up at 5:15. So, whew.
All right.
What do you got to do at 5:15 in the morning?
Chores.
Chores. Real world.
Real world. I'm not quite retired yet.
Yeah. You know what? Now that I've been retired, I've been retired for 5 years.
Already? I remember when you announced your retirement on your channel.
No, it's 5 years.
Time goes by quickly. 5 years ago was 2020.
Oh my.
Yeah, I retired on my last day of work was November 30th. And my first day of retirement was December the 1st in 2020.
Wow.
And it's been 5 years. And it goes by
quickly.
Fast.
Yeah.
It does.
You aren't wrong.
Well, I'm going to shut her down.
Yeah.
Here.
You guys have a good Christmas and a happy New Year.
Yeah. And so we'll get together with Palmer and decide what we're going to be doing. Think of some cool topics, something different.
Yeah, we got to,
especially if you're off.
Yeah.
You're trying to say we got to reinvent the wheel?
No. I think we're pretty good as we are.
Yeah.
We'll dig deep. Come up with something. We'll come up with something. We always do.
We always do. We always do.
All right. We'll probably see you in about 3 weeks then.
Yeah. Well,
unless, of course, we just want to get together and just chit chat.
Yeah, that's true.
Bring in a new year with a show.
I'm painting down here anyway, so
that's where I'm at. I'll be painting down in here. So if anybody wants to,
yeah,
I don't go anywhere on New Year's.
We don't have to do a show. We just sit around and
paint. We don't even have to go live. Yeah,
we don't have to go live or nothing. Just
if we want, we can, but that's not the point to me. So anyway, we'll still be going for another day and a half. So we'll cut.
It's like we don't.
Yeah, we gotta get off here.
All right, so we'll see everybody whenever we come back. So good night, everyone.
No.
Hey guys.
There we go.